Hello there and welcome back to my channel, The Pink Aviatrix. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. So let's jump into it. So we're back again with another SMART goal, the T of SMART, and that's setting goals that are time bound. So listen to me, we have all the time in the world, but we don't, because we have different things that we want to do, right? So when you set your aviation goals, you want to ensure that they are time bound. Put a time limit on it so that it pushes you forward to getting the specific goal done. So in my case, for example, I needed to get my PPL in 3 months because that's the time I gave myself, and that's also the amount of time I had off of work, and that's also the amount of money I had for that specific pilot's license, right? So you want to ensure that you give yourself a limit in which to achieve a goal, because if you just say, I want to be a pilot, and you start flight school and you're just flying whenever you feel like it, or you're not doing it in any structured way, it can kind of slow you down, one, and it can also be demotivating too, because you don't have that momentum going to say, okay, I need to meet this deadline, so I need to do these things, and keep the momentum going to ensure that I achieve this goal. And I basically achieved it in 3 months. But here's the thing now, even though you give yourself a time limit for a goal, you also have to plan for any eventualities where it could take longer than the time that you stipulated. Or I gave myself 3 months for the PPL, and it took me about 4 months, not because I wasn't prepared in terms of my flight training and all my requirements, but there was weather, I had to wait for check rides, my check ride was scheduled, postponed, cancelled, rescheduled, delayed. Various things had happened, right? And I had to write back to my workplace to say, hey, I need an extra month. So here's the thing, you live and you learn. I gave myself the 3 months because they had told me I could do it in 2.5 months. I thought a whole month extra was a good enough buffer. Turns out it was not, and I needed to get an extra month. I ended up getting my PPL before the extra month ended, but I had to apply for that just in case I had another delay, right? So you want to protect yourself in that regard and ensure that you have enough time and extra money, right, to ensure that you're able to achieve your goal still within a reasonable time, but making room for any allowances. I talk about that in the video on how to select a flight school, like your planning as it surrounds finances for flight school. So yeah, you can check that video out if you haven't already, and like this video if this content has been helpful to you. As I mentioned, making allowances for delays. Look at 2020. I'm sure everybody had so many goals and so many plans that are either delayed, cancelled, or have to be revisited or reanalyzed, because look what happened with 2020. Every single industry has been hit, whether positively or negatively, right? And if you're not able to pivot and like reanalyze and have a backup plan, then you could set all the goals you want, make them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and realistic and time bound. But if you don't have a backup plan for your original plan, then all of that would have been in vain, right? Not to say that you are not supposed to put all your energy into your goals, right? But you also have to think about what if, right? With that said, what are some of your aviation goals and what specific steps are you taking to achieve them? Leave them in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about setting goals. And if you haven't already, watch the other videos in this series, because I'm sure they'll be helpful to someone. So you can also go ahead and share this if you think it might be helpful to somebody else, just generally setting goals or setting aviation specific goals, right? Do something related to your goals at least once a week. Slow and steady wins the race, and slow progress is better than no progress. Do these things and keep them in. So you want to protect yourself in that regard. Well, subscribe. And as I mentioned, make them specific, measurable,